Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandavat Pranam devotees. So, by the grace of Sri Guru and Gauranga, we were able to safely return yesterday from traveling for serving Hari Katha. And of course we came back to Florida, and there's obviously a pending hurricane here, which is not unusual in Florida, except that the magnitude of this one is pretty big. So we as always just pray to Guru Gauranga for the safety of all devotees, and also that everyone will be prudent and chant Hare Krishna. This is our real shelter and safety. Besides that, I just want to do a quick reflection on the travel, and to, again, as I've already done numerous times, to offer my heartfelt thanks to all the devotees who hosted and arranged programs for us during the travel. Mother Kamagiri and Radha Vijay Didi in Columbus, and their whole family for the wonderful hospitality and all the wonderful facilities, and for making such a nice program over 2 days actually that we were there. And then, of course, to Pankaj Prabhu, Mother Parvati, Virginia Nandan and Ganga, and other devotees in Cleveland for such a nice program at the house of Pankaj Prabhu. And just also very happy to see Pankaj Prabhu after a very long time. And of course, a special thanks to Parvati and family for hosting us for a brunch or lunch, which was, I don't have words to describe it. So, of course, you know, among things that are part of Rupa Goswami's description of what is affection between devotees, Bhukte Bojayate Jhaiva. So, the giving and accepting of prasad. So, there was an abundance of love and affection in all the places that we went for the giving and accepting of prasad. I don't, we really did not give prasad. We just pray that the mercy of Srila Gurudev's inspiration in our hearts in repeating Hari Katha was the prasad that we were able to give, and that all of the prasad that was prepared and offered to Thakurji and taken as prasad was just extraordinary in all the places. So, of course, our Cleveland brunch was exceptional as well, and our Columbus was exceptional. So everything was just perfect when we arrived in our last destination, which was Ypsilanti, and the Sangha of Sriman Mukunda Prabhu and all the devotees of Ypsilanti. Everything was perfect there, and the prasad was perfect for us. It had simplified, and it was just what we needed, and so we were so happy. Again, my heartfelt thanks to all of the sanghas and all of the devotees who accommodated us with such love and affection and allowed us to do some seva to Harinam and Hari Katha. And we pray to Sri Guru and Gauranga that our health and everything remains, and we'll be able to, again, obviously travel and do these nice kinds of programs. Of course, I'm also very indebted to my god brothers and god uncles, Sriman Bhumipati Prabhu, Sriman Sanatan Goswami Prabhu, and Sriman Sahadev Prabhu, and both to Pujapat Shanta Maharaj and to Sriman Shamsundar Prabhu. Though they weren't able to make the trip, they provided inspiration because, they were part of the whole sort of planning and, sort of inspiration around doing these kind of things. I think devotees know that in the course of the past years, I've always traveled in 2 different iterations, so to speak. Many times I'll travel with my good wife, and sometimes also travel with a group of men, something that I got inspiration from many years ago in while I was on parikrama in Vrindavan. I had traveled also in that year. I think I went to either Dwarka or South India. I can't remember which year that was, but I observed a group of older men who were apparently from the same village, had been traveling together, and at a particular train stop, everybody disembarked for a quick break, and I saw them huddled together, and they brought out one tiffin and served out some small prasad that they had made, and then after washing and cleaning the tiffin and putting it back, and they began to do a little bit of bhajan kirtan. Then they pulled out a small book. I don't know what lineage or what parampara, etc. they were. They did have tilak, everything, so I'm just assuming they were Vaishnava. And they were reading together. And so it just was such an inspiration, and I thought, especially as we're moving towards senior years, all of us, that this kind of association with God brothers and God uncles is a very important thing to mutually nourish and encourage us all to do bhajan life. So, of course, I've traveled with the men's group before, our Bhakti Tattva study group, it's called. And the unofficial name being Men of the Cloth, which is a kind of inside joke. But yeah, so we traveled together again this time, and again, it was a very, very wonderful experience, and I'm very thankful again, by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we arrived back safely. Hopefully our safety remains in the midst of this hurricane. The other thing was to quickly answer only one question, because as I mentioned, we are kind of getting prepared for everything that may unfold today. And so we're trying to get everything kind of done early, so we can make maybe a store run very quickly and some other things. And a devotee wrote a question about causes for the loss of enthusiasm in chanting their rounds. And so basically, you can always do self-examination and see if you're doing your self-examination honestly, that in most cases, the loss of enthusiasm has come either from the continuum of Namaparad. And Namaparad, the 10 basic Namaparads mentioned in Padma Puran, which everyone knows, sort of. If not, then you can just look them and study them. I don't have time to go through each one here. But looking at those, you can analyze, especially the 10th aparad, which is to sort of maintain a attachment to the external world, even after having heard so many instructions on the manner of the glories of Harinam. So mostly all of the offenses, and the first offense also, which is Vaishnav Ninda. So these two offenses especially tend to take away the enthusiasm for chanting. So if there has been Vaishnav Ninda or offense to any Vaishnav, whether it is known or unknown, we should search our heart to see if there was any and quickly try to rectify it, because in spite of any other endeavors we might try, no taste will come in Harinam, because the very Swarup and the very Rup of Harinam will not appear on our tongue and in our heart and Chitta or consciousness until unless we have been freed from the implications of that aparad by getting the release from it by that Vaishnav or Vaishnavs whom we've offended. So that's a very major thing. And the 10th thing, which is maintaining material attachment, is everyone has previous bhakti samskars and also previous karmic samskars. And there's always the sort of struggle between trying to take full advantage of the bhakti samskars and to minimize the impact of the karmic samskars. And the result of the karmic samskars is we may still maintain attachment to certain material things. And having maintained that attachment, it impinges upon our ability to take Harinam with taste. And that brings me to the next point, which is that the success or that the inspiration for chanting Harinam with a sense of numeric strength and a sense of depth is to have taste in Harinam. And that taste will only develop in the relationship with Hari Nam that has been born from hearing Hari Katha. When you hear Hari Katha, you're hearing the glories of Hari Nam. So all Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all studies of our Goswami Varga's books, all the Rasa Sastra, everything that has been accumulated in the arena of Hari Katha is the very Swarup of Hari Nam. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has mentioned that Hari Nam without Hari Katha is incomplete. So, and I've given the example before that even in a material relationship, you cannot just relate to somebody with emotional content simply on the basis of the form they have. You'll have to know the person, their personality, their nature, their likes and dislikes. You have to know so much about them. And even the axiom that's spoken to know God is to love him. So in the same way, without Hari Katha, which is the Swarup, or the inner reality of Bhagavan, his Dham, his associates, the nature of Prem, then it is very difficult to have taste in Harinam, which is directly the root of Radha and Krishna. Harinam itself directly is full of ras. Namachintamini Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It's the life of Rasa. So the inability to have some taste. Now, of course, according to our adhikar, according to our own unfoldment, then the nature of how much of the Rasa Samagri in Harinam we're able to taste is subject to that. So, but even not being so advanced in bhakti, still if one will take deep consideration on the mercy of Sri Guru, because I've often mentioned that if we have not realized Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu, then we don't have a real ability to do deep emotional connection, because you have not had that experience. But for those who are very fortunate, they have had substantial experience with Sri Guru, who is Sakshat Haritva. He is or she is the personification of Sriman Mahaprabhu and Sri Radhakrishna Yugal. And because in the Acharya Leela, we were able to have intimate contact with Sri Guru, and even if that was not by physical arrangement, it was by heart arrangement, then we have a basis under which to express an emotional content in relation to bhakti. And that's what's very important. Because Srila Rupa Goswami Pad has described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that the Krishna Anusilanam, the endeavors to serve Krishna, are both Karya Rup and Bhava Rup. So Karya Rup means the things that you do with your body, mind, your words, etc. And Bhava Rup means the spiritual, emotional content that you have. So you'll have to find the source of that emotional content, and I'm explaining that source is Sri Guru. So from having emotional content in relation to Sri Guru, then it unfolds, because Sri Guru offers what you offer to the lotus feet of Sri Guru is offered in Parampara to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, to Sri Radhakrishna Yugal. So the mercy of our entire Guru Varga, or Guru Parampara, and the mercy of Sri Nityananda Mahaprabhu, the mercy of Sri Radhakrishna Yugal, especially the mercy of Srimati Radhika, is all contingent upon the relationship with Sri Guru. So we should invest all of our emotional mood regarding bhakti in the order of Guru. And partly the order of Guru involves the practices. And the reason I say partially is because just like Sri Krishna himself, Guru never forces. Guru only can inspire, but Guru cannot force. So that means there has to be some endeavor, voluntary willingness on our part to partake in the process of bhakti. If we partake in the process of bhakti under the order of Guru, with deep inspiration and deep love for Sri Guru, then the nature of the bhajan practice reciprocates with us. That means Harinam, that means our attendance and participation in Mangalarati, that means our Swadhyay, means our study, our hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. It will reciprocate. And in the heart will come realizations with taste. And of course, we should hold those realizations and experience that taste within the Hridoya Mandir, the heart temple, It's not something for display. It's not something for public pronouncement. Yeah, I'm having this realization, that realization. So one should relish those realizations which are the reciprocation of Sri Guru's Kripa from the process of practicing bhakti. And then you'll find that taking Hari Nam, because Nam is the essence of everything. The 64 processes of bhakti are distilled to 9, which are distilled to 5, and among them, Taramaje Sarvasrishta Nama Kirtan. So among all the 5 essential practices, which are Nam Kirtan, Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavat Shravan, Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevan, what am I missing? So Nama Kirtan, Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavat Shravan, Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevan, Mathuravas. So Mathuravas, of course, does not only mean physically, but means by consciousness, by mood. We should consider ourselves to be Brijavasis if our aspiration is to the service of Shri Shri Radha Krishna Yugal. And we should, therefore, by mind, Rupa Goswami says, by chitta, by mind, we should do, Mathuravas means Brajbhas, considering that I am living as a Brijavasi. And this requires some depth of understanding the process of Diksha, because in the process of Diksha, Sri Gurudev gives indication of your Visesh Sambandha Gyan, the particular mood of relationship and service you have to Krishna. Though it is in a seed form, it has all of the indications of your unfoldment. And in the higher stages of bhakti, Ruchi coming to a Shakti, that will open itself up and become more apparent. And then Gurudev again will do Ruchi Pariksha. He'll examine that Ruchi and give clarification and bhajan instructions for further advancement. So the best way to re-inspire your Nam Bhajan, because everything is based on Nam, so we call it Nam Bhajan, is to first check that I am not in violation of the very things which are opposite to relationship with Sri Nam, which are the 10 offenses. Secondly, we should make sure that we develop an unprecedented, Raghunath Das Goswami says, an unprecedented rati, Sada Dandva Hitba, Apuravata rati. So Sada Dandva Hitva means to give up all pride. And to develop, Apuravata means something that's unprecedented. Rati, for Sri Nam, for our Guru given mantras, and of course for Sri Gurudev himself or herself. So this is the sort of, not secret, it's an open secret because it's been expressed everywhere. But this is the means by which taste in Harinam comes about. And once there's taste in Harinam, then you'll find that chanting your rounds will not only be easy to do, which we're not looking for ease, we're looking for relationship and taste. But you'll find that if you had difficulty because it seemed to be mechanical, then you'll find now that there is inspirational relationship based on your relationship with Sri Guru, and now there'll be some taste in chanting Harinam. That taste will lead to an increased desire to chant Harinam, which will lead to numerical strength in chanting Harinam. And from that numerical strength in chanting Harinam with mood, then more realizations come, and this is how a relationship is developed. Understand? So hopefully this was helpful to that Prabhuji and your good wife who asked the question about Harinam. And again, I am unlimitedly thankful to all the devotees who helped in our attempt at service to our Guru Vargas by traveling for Hari Katha and Harinam. All right, my Dandavat Pranam. Vanchakalpatru Vishya Kripashindavevacha Patitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.